With rising temperatures and an increasing number of extreme weather events, climate change is today a recognized fact. Human activities, in particular those related to industry and transport, are the principal cause of climate change. Agriculture and livestock farming contribute to greenhouse gas emissions too, however, and in fact make up 30% of them. This is due to the production of manure, to deforestation aimed at creating new plots of land, and to the methane emissions of cattle. Livestock farming and the resulting deforestation alone represent 18% of global greenhouse gas emissions. But looking at this only as a figure would be to ignore the fact that there are different types of livestock farming. The question remains, is extensive smallholder livestock farming, which relies on natural pasture land, as responsible for the problem as intensive industrial husbandry, which relies on soybeans imported from other continents? To answer this as yet mostly unexplored question, VSF Europe has carried out a study published in 2012. We have tried to characterize the various types of smallholder livestock farming, as well as the problems those farmers encounter vis-à-vis climate change and the solutions provided by the livestock farmers themselves. Often, these solutions are the product of knowledge handed down over thousands of years. We met with smallholder farmers who have to deal with difficult weather and environmental conditions on a daily basis in South Sudan, Iran and Madagascar. We asked all of them the same questions. What effect does climate change have on their activities? What solutions have they implemented to tackle the effects of climate change? And why is it essential for them to maintain and further develop their livestock farming activities?
ملت و دولت به پا خیزین، عشایر رفت زده است. کس نکرد فکری به حالش، این ذخایر رفت زده است. خشکسالی های پی در پی چو خارش کرده است. در بدر و دور از اهل و تبارش کرده است. اون موقع ها زمستوناش خوب سرد بود و بارندگی زیاد بود، برف‌های خیلی سنگین می‌نشست به زمین. حتی من یادمه که همینجا ما مدرسه می‌رفتیم، در یک سال 40 تا برف آمد. ولی الان چند سالی از حدوداً 7-10 سال 15 سال هست که در این 15 سال اگر 1 سال یا 2 سال بهار آمده.
او چیم که اوغاگه اوه awe gwa non ke ga ni na o ga ja mu chi ne le man ki chi ne twen teron e twen ni ko mu gon ti chi me tu jerit ka be pol ti nyot ku twen ti chi den twen ku wo nga cham wal ke wal ke ga che ga ra gwi wo ko pi kwa kal a che be lai twen qua cái gái coi cái phur dù ta cả dù bà cá đi chứ loài tren em vừa lấy lo và đum đồng đu này phur ai ra bà phur pat
de refa nu var que já lhe toi trandro de outra ni bieta já lhe retra tungam le ni fion já ne ta outra we a kuzani ramni kuzani ji de manzuretra de va tsy afaka mandray sakafo zany izy raha manomboka manjoretra iny de fa izy zany de fa ndray andro na ndroandro zany izy manjoretra de fa maty mihitsy hiara amin'ny fahafatesany de tsy azonay tao ninina mihitsy hoe tsisy mihitsy zany zavatra hoe iarovana iananjy zany na hoe hitrabona iananjy fa de maty ho azy eo rehefa tokana zany ny vo de tsy maintsy tapitra daholo izy rehetrarehetra
sy ny olona tanao tamin'ny andro natongavako taty voalohany tamin'ny 10 na 9 volana août maintsy misy orana am'izao fotoana zao fa tsisy zao zao mbola mangatsika hola ny andro tena fa dangereux septembre zany na octobre zany tsy maintsy misy orana tena mahavoto tany mihitsy zao zany tsy miaina amban'ilay sakafo biby ny lahatra efa tokony ho maitso zao izy mbola maina.
over 600 million people in the world depend on livestock for their survival. Before going deeper into the relationship between livestock and climate change, we must first measure the role and importance of livestock to numerous populations. In order to better understand the link that unites livestock keepers and their animals, we encounter Dinka pastoralists in South Sudan. Located in Eastern Africa, South Sudan gained independence on the 9th of July 2011, following 20 years of civil war. Many challenges are ahead for this new country if it is to guarantee its future. Crop and livestock farming are both important assets and should be able to ensure the food security of the country's 10 million inhabitants. At the Alor camp near Rumbek in the center of the country, several Dinka shepherd families have established themselves around the water point. South Sudan has one of the world's largest pastoral populations. Although livestock farming is not widely commercialized, 80% of the population is involved in it, a majority of whom are migrant shepherds. Well before agriculture was introduced, livestock farming ensured that human communities had a stable food reserve, as they first observed and then learned to better manage the seasonal migrations of animal herds. Shepherds' lives depend on the weather, which sets the rhythm for migrations. In South Sudan, insecurity as well as extreme weather events often upset this rhythm, reducing available pasture land. The overexploitation of resources and an increase in the transmission of diseases are now latent dangers faced by livestock farmers. Some families have chosen to remain in one place and therefore diversify their livelihood, but most Dinka livestock farmers continue to travel across the country to feed their herds. In the camp, life revolves around the animals. From the moment they wake up, the Dinka care for their animals. Before leaving for the pastures, the Dinka come together to dance. This is the best moment to truly understand the link between them and their cattle, which are pampered and honored. The greater the number of healthy cows a man owns, the more wives and children he can have. Before letting the animals out to feed, the women and the children milk them. The milk is either consumed directly or traded for cereals and spices. During the lean season, milk mixed with blood may be the only meal of the day. Cows are such precious capital to the Dinka that their meat is rarely consumed. The herd's mobility allows for adaptation to seasonal changes. Migrant livestock farming also makes good use of distant and not very fertile land.
And if you come next year now, you can get this village. It is cultivated because of the manure the animal put on. The community are appreciating this one very much.
When the herds are out grazing and the camp is empty, the children collect the animal droppings. These are put out to dry, then gathered together and burned. The resulting smoke drives away disease-ridden insects such as mosquitoes and the tsetse fly. The ashes are spread on the animals and people as an insect repellent. The traditional knowledge possessed by livestock farmers covers many fields, including that of medicinal plants and ethno-veterinary practices. This knowledge has now been complemented by veterinary medicine, which saves not only the lives of animals, but those of human beings as well. Because they are continually moving around, Dinka shepherds do not easily have access to care for their animals. A network of auxiliary veterinarians has therefore been set up, the community animal health workers. The monitoring provided by these auxiliary veterinarians successfully eradicated the rinderpest in 2011. Today, the network is composed of several hundred auxiliary veterinarians throughout South Sudan.
Na chi kwany ne ko chi na kuma ne ban kwan ba ko ko kwan ni ba ka cha gor ko le ke yin lo ba chi mala kwan ka mani na ti ke anon ke nok non te wale ta tin ka ba ti ja kuma ma be ma ka ba lo ilai ke cha ne gam kin la ne chol wong ene ma gem tuen we pandana junu ene o pir ko na o ga sie ko ne mit kwan ti nyat chi ka ga ne ka mu.
If it is to gain greater food independence, many challenges remain for this new country, which imports cattle from its neighbors to meet urban demand. In this context, and to facilitate the adaptation of vulnerable peoples to climate change, the knowledge and experience of Dinka smallholder farmers is an asset which should be made the most of. It is impossible to talk about pastoral farming and not to mention Iran, where this ancient practice was born and left a profound imprint on the country's culture, language, and history. Today, the 700 indigenous nomadic peoples of Iran only make up 2% of the country's population, but they produce 45% of the country's red meat. In the northeast of the country, Abul Hassani livestock farmers are now facing longer and repeated droughts.
هر نفر که شما حساب کنید 500 تا دام داشته، با توجه به این خشکسالی‌های حادی که آمده بیش از 100 تای دیگه نداره. اگر نه در حال حاضر خیلی از علف‌هایی که تو مرتع ما بوده و بسیارم برای گوسفند خوب بوده اصلا ور افتاده. مثلا دانشور الان حتی یک دانش یا چوبش هم اگه بخوایم بگردیم پیدا کنیم نیست.
Traditional strategies associated with nomadic practices are no longer sufficient to deal with climate change, especially since it affects communities already weakened by lack of government support.
ما از پارسال زمستان پاییز که سر جو کردیم همینطور داریم میدیم. فقط شاید یک ماه بهار سر مقدار علف و اینا بود دیگه بعداً هم همینطور در انجام.
Cette année, on a eu un problème terrible, c'est que les chameaux ont laissé leurs bébés chameaux dans le désert et sont partis parce qu'il n'y avait plus à boire et à manger et ils n'avaient plus de lait pour les allaiter. Donc les producteurs ont été obligés de prendre les petits chameaux et les allaiter eux-mêmes au biberon ou n'importe quoi au début et s'en occuper parce que les mères étaient parties.
اینا رو علوفه دستی میدیم. سالایی که خوبه علوفه دستی نمیدیم به شتر. به گوسفند میدیم، به شتر علوفه دستی نمیدیم. امسال به این علت که خیلی وضعیت خیلی خرابه، خیلی بی حد وضعیت مراتع خرابه، الان شترها لاغریم دارن بعضیا میمیرن.
Today, the situation of livestock keepers has become more and more critical and they become very pessimistic. Nevertheless, it is true that livestock farmers know a lot about local ecosystems and their cycles and about how resilient they are. they have developed countless techniques to preserve soil fertility and vegetative cover. In Iran, to avoid exhausting pasture land, the Abul Hassani livestock farmers use a specific way of leaving land fallow known as quruk.
یعنی قرق محلی با قرق‌های منابت بیوینا که یعنی ممنوع میشه، منطقه ممنوع میشه فرق میکنه. ما زمانی هم که گوسفند هست توی این منطقه، زمانی هم که گوسفند اینجا میاد، معمولا زمستان گوسفند میاد، پنجه داره. پنجه یعنی 5 روز، هر روز به یک سمت میره یا 10 روز، یعنی چرخش دام تا امروز به منطقه مرتکه میره تا از 2 مرتبه دور میزنه، باز میاد میرسه به روز اول، از 5 روز تا 10 روز رد. با اینکه بارندگی کم بوده و خشکسالی در حدوداً الان اگر بارندگی نیاد خشکسالی داریم، فعلا فرقی با پارسال از نظر بوته و آنچه که از اشجار و مرته و بوته‌زار بوده همه سر جاش هست، هیچ کم‌کاستی انجام نشده.
Rain is scarce in these arid environments. The ancient system of pastoral farming allows for the collection of water for cattle. This is known as kanat and involves a system of wells and underground galleries which collects water that seeps into the ground and then carries it from the mountains to the villages. It is a system that has proven its worth over 3,000 years and is perhaps one of the oldest existing systems of sustainable water management.
فقط مونده قناعات هم خیلی آبای کم داره. بعد کشاورزی رو که از دست ما گرفته، دام ما رو حتی با مشکلات آب میدیم.
ما علاوه بر دامپروری و دامداری که اینا کشاورزی هم داریم. کشاورزیمون هم شلغم کاری، پنبه کاری، کنجیت کاری، اینجور کارا هستش. اینا آبش هم آب چشمه، آب مثلا چاه و این چیزا نیست، فقط چشمه قنات دیگه بر اثر این بی بارونی و بی برفی همه خوش شده دیگه. بعدن قبلا هم که مثلا آب بوده اینا شاید این شلغم به فروش هم میرسیده، اما الان نه. الان مثلا به خاطر کم آبی و اینا هر کدوم هر خونه مثلا یه خیلی، اگه اونی که آب زیاد داره اونی هم که نداره که اصلا نمیکاره. یه شبانه روز آب داره اونو مثلا میگه چه کلا جو بکارم واسه دامم، به درد دامم بخوره.
نه ما نمیتونیم. اگر میتونستیم علوف کاری میداشتیم ممکن بود، وگرنه هیچ راه نجات دیگری نداریم. ما نمیتونیم هیچ ابتکاری نمیتونیم داشته باشیم، چون دامداریم. شرفه و شغلمون از اجدادن عشایر کوچنده بودیم و دام داریم. چندین 300 سال قبل دامدار بودیم تا الان که هستیم. اجداد ما دامدار بوده. همین حرفه ما همین شغل دامداریه. این شغل دامداری شغل پاک با برکتیه، در صورتی که مرتم سبز باشه، سال به قول ما بهار سال باشه.
In recent decades, while environmental degradation and the disappearance of biodiversity have been oft-debated subjects, nomadic pastoralism has been recognized as the best way to guarantee sustainable land use. Today, we still have time to come to the realization that their traditional knowledge has huge potential in terms of climate change adaptation strategies and to ensure that this shared heritage is recognized at all levels, including through support from governmental programs and from international organizations. Even though pastoral peoples are tremendously resilient, in extreme ecosystems they are not infinitely so.
سنت قدیم ما میگن تخم علف تو دانه بارونه، یعنی اگر 10 سالم خشک سال بیاد، 20 سالم خشک سال بیاد، باز اگر بارونهای خوب بیان و یک سال بهار خوب بیاد، مرتع احیا میشه.
سلامت. مرغم رفت سلام.
A quarter of Madagascar's population relies on livestock farming. More than 60% of rural inhabitants are involved with it in some degree. Livestock farming makes up about 9% of the national gross domestic product and 30% of the agricultural gross domestic product. Livestock farming is also widely associated with crop farming and in particular with the cultivation of rice, the principal source of food for Malagasys. As an island, Madagascar is amongst the most vulnerable and at-risk countries due to climate change. The rise in sea level, as well as the increase in the frequency and violence of cyclones, will have a serious impact on the country's economy, and in particular on its livestock and crop farming. The Lake Alaoustra region, to the north of the capital, is the country's rice breadbasket. Here, peasant farmers have always combined livestock farming with rice growing. This type of livestock crop association has many advantages for soil fertilization and for working the fields. Given the direction in which climate change is heading and the resulting unpredictable rice yields, smallholder farmers have begun to expand their livestock farming activities, in particular by diversifying them. Mr. Ramarojauna and his family are a remarkable example. They have introduced fish into flooded rice paddies and also have some pigs, poultry, guinea pigs and beehives.
Eny tena fanampy reo ary tena fanohana mihitsy reo zavatra reo ary izay zany no atao hoe mahefa le fiainana le olona. Zany hoe ohatra zao ny tantely mba hoe any amin'ny 2 hetsy ihany zany na 3 hetsy ihany zany le vidin'le tantely zany amin'iny taona ray iny dia rehefa tsy ampy zany le vary dia fa azo midy vary iny. Zay aloha zany dia atao hoe miezaka ihany mampitombo tahaka ny hoe manatsara an'ireo zavatra ireo zany.
In the face of the emerging diseases aided by the changing temperature, community animal health associations, or AVSF, provide an effective and rapid response system. Created several years ago, they allow for more frequent monitoring of herds in order to detect any infectious outbreaks and intervene appropriately.
Tsapako aloha zany atran'ny sako tamin'ny 2005 zay ohatran'ny efa mba hita mihatsaratsara zany le ombin'olona satria taloha koa moa vétérinaire taty lavitra be VSF zao any amora ranchrome maalana zany vao mandalo ndray ary ngamba dia tsisy miantso dia mivaksiny omby isa-taona foana vao mandalo fa ohatran'izay ny sako zay aloha zany ny olona ohatran'ny efa mba maharaka hoe tokony atao traitement foana no mba atao déparasitage isaky ny 3 mois dia mba fana le tahiry zany mba fa hitanao efa mba tsara fa miova le tahirin'ny olona dia ny tapa-fatesana koa zany tsikiatro tsy dia misy loatra satria talona zany raha miantso vétérinaire hoe marary ny omby dia mety rapitro izy vao tonga eo na ohatra zany dia misy fatarana zany le fitsaboana dia betsaka le omby maty fa tato ato zany dia zay tena hoe tsy azo tsaboana intsony hoe sisany hita hoe maty fa ohatrany mba.
These AVSF also provide advice and aid in managing the herds, for instance by installing roofs over pens. These covered pens ensure that the animals' behavior can be monitored and helps to diminish the impact that rain and sun have on their output. In the Alaoustra Lake region, livestock farmers prefer local and mixed races because they are less sensitive to climate variations and more disease resistant, since genetically they have evolved in a changing environment. These races are also by their very build more efficient for working the fields. Globally, livestock farmers therefore help keep almost 8,000 local races alive. This genetic heritage is essential for climate change adaptation.
Le olona zany amin'ny kapeny saika le rasiny gasy zany tena hita tarizin'ny olona dia nefa fahitako anazy zany ny olona mieritreritra ihany hoe tiana tsaratsara le taranaka ombiny le karazany omby zany dia misy makamaka mamitaditady lana omby zafizafindrona na izy zany tsy tena hoe rana pure fa ohatrany hoe karazany ohatrany efa ohatry zany daolina zany zao ny eritreritry ny olona ohatrany mitaditady karazana rasina omby afangaro.
At Lake Alaoustra, one of the main consequences of climate hazards is a lack of food for bovines during the harvest. Once all the rice paddies have been harvested, the only pasture land left for the animals are the dikes and some of the hills, and that is not enough.
Dia hoentina mandeha mandranotohatra any kijany mihitsy zany le omby any anaty alana eo amin'ny 80 kilometра mihitsy zany miala avy eto. miala tanana misy anay de ny kotra zay zany de nangonana amlolo zao hitantsika maso zao
fataloha zany tsy nanangona amlolo
taloha tsy mba manangona amlolo aby ny olona mitahiry omby fa niatra mandidy tanana ary sy ny villa mandidy tanana de fa mavoky ananjy.
With institutional support, smallholder farmers have now planted fodder crop. These allow for permanent soil cover, which keeps the soil humid and provides it with nitrogen, thereby increasing its fertility and improving carbon storage. These fodder crops also ensure that livestock farmers are able to feed their cattle all year long.
Tsy le zavatra tsy azo vela hoe tsy ampisakafo zany fatao hoe voalohan'ny taona mihitsy zany aloha zao atao hoe lohan'ny taona mpambolena mihitsy de faly mihitsy izy hoe avy ny orana aloha zany tamin'ny alina iny de arak'izay zany hoe tena hiezaka mihitsy zany hoe amboly nireny brakaria reny zany aloha amin'izao zany hitrena le sakafo lomby.
Na tsara tare azy ianao ka tsy ao aminao ny fanahy akoso-polamena mamiratra jerena hotelo teneno amin'ny raha tsy fa vitaka fa aza vela.
At Lake Alaochra, livestock farmers have adopted efficient measures and practices to secure their activities in the face of climate change. Despite their efforts, the future remains uncertain, in particular due to increased theft of cattle. In Madagascar, South Sudan and elsewhere, insecurity is a recurring problem for smallholder livestock farmers. But it is only one among many. The persistency of these problems begs the question if adaptation practices developed by smallholder livestock farmers are enough to truly deal with the suddenness and intensity of climate change. According to the IPCC, the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, there are many possibilities for adaptation. However, it is imperative that we increase the action undertaken if we want to reduce vulnerability to climate change. In December 2011, the most recent international climate change negotiations in Durban resulted in only weak commitments to helping farmers with adaptation, despite the fact that it is strongly supported by developing countries. As for mitigation, the possible inclusion of farming on the international carbon market is now being widely discussed. Many institutions have warned about where that might eventually lead. They worry that it could be an added incentive for land grabbing and speculation on agricultural products. The example of the carbon market demonstrates the extent to which the relationship between livestock farming and climate change must be approached in its own right and within a broader context. Indeed, climate change adaptation strategies must go hand in hand with the affirmation of food sovereignty. We must therefore think about the right of livestock farming communities to improve standards of living and their access to water, land, credit, and education, as well as their right to participate in decision-making concerning their land and future.
So climate change puts a lot of constraints and a lot of barriers to the livelihoods of people. But sometimes there are other issues. So that means that policymakers need to look at the other issues as well.
Hoe tokony hiatanina ny vahoaka hanao hikarakara ny sakafona biby fiompy. Zay aloha raha amin'ny fieritreretako satria raha vao tsy eo zany le fanentanana ny vahoaka amboly boreka ariana salany dia tsy ho tafita mahitsy le ezaka e. Satria simba fotsiny pina fotsiny izy tsisy hanina hoaniny inona aloha.
C'est pas seulement au niveau des techniciens qu'on va faire le pas, mais surtout au niveau des autorités.
برای آسایش ما خوب است اون چیز مهمی که باید دولت حمایت کنه که ما بتانیم توی این منطقه بمانیم مسئله اشتغال و درآمد هست.
اگر دولت به فکر این مردم باشه که یه تحصیلاتی بده، مثلا علوفه‌ای در اختیار مردم بگذاره که الان خبری از این حرفام نیست و ندیدیم در این زودیا خبری نیست. چند ساله که ما الان از این نه علوفه است دولت تنسیم همش با علوفه گران با این مشکلات.
Also if the government can encourage the dairy, then can have a dairy very big one so that it can just supply the milk for the others vulnerable people. And also you can the cattle keepers also or pastoralists, if they can form their associations so that they can be easy to make them themselves.
Moi, mes recommandations que j'aimerais apporter auprès des dirigeants monégasques, c'est de mettre en place vraiment d'abord, car là c'est les problèmes de Madagascar, c'est la politique générale sur l'agriculture grand A. Et dans ça, sur l'aspect élevage, c'est d'améliorer ces deux points, de focaliser sur ces deux points, c'est-à-dire sur l'aspect santé animale, pourquoi pas la reconnaissance des AXA et le développement des AXA dans tout Madagascar. Et le deuxième point, d'appuyer les paysans sur la filière, la commercialisation de leurs produits, car ça constitue des blocages de développement, quoi. C'est à l'État vraiment de mettre une politique, comment aider les paysans pour qu'ils s'en sortent.
Je pense qu'il faut tout de suite oublier le fait de directement dire voici ce qu'il y a comme élevage aux normes, voici ce qu'on peut faire et vous les paysans changez tout, faites ça. Ça je pense que c'est la chose qu'il y a à oublier tout de suite. La première chose à faire, je pense, c'est de comprendre pourquoi les gens font ce qu'ils font, quelles sont les difficultés, quels sont les contextes et d'essayer de proposer une alternative, une amélioration qui coïncident un peu ou qui peuvent les convaincre par rapport à leur réalité.
هم برنامه‌ریزی هم اجرا و هم نظارت، یعنی اینا مستقیم درگیر بشن با کارهایی که دارن و بر اساس دانش بومی و تجربه‌ای که از منطقه‌شون دارن و از محیطشون دارن و از اقلیمشون دارن این برنامه‌ریزی‌ها صورت بگیره و فعالیت اجرا بشه توی منطقه.
The cattle keepers here have lived with these animals for years immemorial. What we see, they never stop learning from their cows because they're always close to their cows. They're always trying out different ways of how to get as much from their cows and not to destroy it altogether, but to keep it going, to make it sustainable.
Mon expérience de presque 37 ans d'avoir travaillé avec les communautés de base et les peuples autochtones sont en train de jour en jour devenir encore plus fortes pour recommander, disons, aux décideurs et au gouvernement d'arrêter de décider pour eux sans eux.
Il faut une volonté politique, c'est sûr, mais la volonté politique, elle vient aussi par les appels de la société civile, des ONG, etc. Donc à vous aussi de nous harceler et ça aiderait et ça nous aidera à avancer dans ce domaine-là.
By 2050, the world population will have reached 9 billion. This means that the world's meat consumption may well double. Our choices, in particular those concerning consumption, will unavoidably have an impact on southern smallholder farmers.
Which meat am I buying? Where it comes from? So this has an impact on the type of livestock farming which I am promoting from my consumption.